Oh man, YouTube, it's your boy Fishing Ken and it's about to go down. Hey, I want y'all to tune in because we're about to get ready to talk about catching these crappie under a slip float at night. There's a few things we need to do. We're gonna get right into it to make sure we can get set up so you guys can start catching these spawning crappie that are coming up and doing their thing at night, guys. Going into how to set this all up, there's a few basic things you need to have. We are talking about fishing, so with that in mind, we need our fishing rod, and I have this spooled with Power Pro line as always, so we're going to need that. We're also going to use some bobber stops. These bobber stops are made by Eagle Claw. You can find those at Walmart. We also have the rod and bobber beacons. You'll need these because they're going to glow at night. I personally like to use steel floats. I will use the red and white foam float as well, but I do like to use slip bobbers more than I do a fixed float. For you guys that like fixed floats, I do have some fixed floats. These are Mr. Crappie Flow Glow bobbers by Mr. Crappie. You can find these at your Academy and Walmart as well. Shout out to D Hicks for giving me those. I also like to have some type of split shot, especially if I'm just using one jig, because I want that bait to get down there fast, and I want that bobber to stand up tall for me. And then we're just going to use any old type of bait to make sure y'all got that going. And then the one thing I forgot is we need a jig head. Okay, so all that is what we're going to use to completely set up our rod and reel combos to start this fishing, man. And this can be used in the daytime as well. Of course, without the beacon, you won't need the beacon in the daytime, but we're going to add the beacons to let you guys see how we do this at night as well. So let's get right into it. So step number one, we need to make sure we have our rod spooled, and we want a good rod and reel combo that casts well. Last thing you want to be doing is trying to flip around a slip cork that does not cast well. I like to use braid cast well for me, so that's what I use, guys. So now getting into it, the first thing we need is these bobber stops. All right, and the bobber stops, they actually, it may confuse people. Let's see if I can get a good picture on these. So these bobber stops, they look like this. Okay, now what you do is each one of these bobber stops, and all it is just a little piece of foam, all right, with a hole going through it. Now what you do is you want to take your line and you want to run it through the loop just above the actual bobber stop, and you want to double it over. Okay, so you take it through, you double it over, it'll look just like that. Now what you do once you double it over, you want to take the little foam piece, in this case this one is red that I've ran it through the loop just above, and you want to pull the actual bobber stop onto the line. Now you have to make sure you go completely through both ends of the line, and you'll see that tag end fall off. All right, you pull that off, and now we have a bobber stop that's sitting on the line. Okay, here's my bobber stop. Hope you guys can see that. There's my bobber stop sitting on the line. All right, so we have step one completed. Now, understanding this about the bobber stop, that's how you set your depth. If you want to fish 2 foot, then you need to pull this bobber stop 2 foot away from wherever your hook is sitting. All right, because that's going to actually stop the bobber. All right, we're going to sit this to the side for a minute because that is step one. Step two is where we're going to get into the beacon. All right, like I said before, guys, they have these beacons that you can find again at Walmart or Academy. We're going to go ahead and open these up, and let's look at the contents on the inside. So the inside, they have a few different things. What we're looking for specifically is this part right here. Okay, that's what we're looking for specifically. Let me show it to you again. This is what we're looking for specifically. Now if you see, it has 2 holes in it, right? All right, one side is going to be for your bobber to go in, and the other side is going to be for the beacon to go in. Here's what our beacon looks like. Okay, and the way that this beacon works is you snap it. Once you snap it in half, the chemicals inside, they mix, and it illuminates on the inside, giving us a glow, giving us a green glow, something that we can follow, something that we can see even in low light and no light situations. So we're going to lay this to the side for right now, and I'm going to take the blue one. Going to take the blue one. Now it's going to be kind of tight, guys. Depending on what type of slip float you decide to use, it's going to be kind of tight. We're going to go ahead and get this on here. Now, what I like to do, I like to use the side that has a split in it. So one side has a split in it and the other side does not. The side with the split is the side that I like to use to put onto the slip float, and as you can see, that goes on real easy. It's sturdy, it won't come off. Even when you snag, I've had these stay on, so we don't have an issue there. Okay, so what I like to do is take my line that has my bobber stop on it, okay, and we like to go ahead and run it through there. We want to run it through the hole. Now make sure that it's like this. This is the way that your bobber should be standing up. And if you need to check, feel should be right across the front of it where you can read it. All right. Another indicator is the orange. It's almost the indicator that they give you instead of the white, because it's easier to see, again, even in low light situations. So we're going to run this through here. Y'all give me a second. This can be pretty tough when you're talking about using braid. Just have to take your time and thread it through. All right, once it comes out the end, we now have our bobber in place. Now what we can do, and this is good, so that even if you forget, you put your bobber on first, this has a split in it again. So all we have to do is feed it onto there. Just press it on. Or what I like to do, I like to just fold that line over and put it on. All right, and then you make sure that that line runs loose through there. Now, before you lose your line, before it goes back through the float, what I like to do is go ahead and put a jig head on. Good to have you a good pair of cutters too, guys, especially when you're dealing with this braid, something that cuts easy. One snip and the braid is cut clean and you don't have to worry about it. So now we're going to go ahead and put this on. As y'all know, I use loop knots. You might have to check out my other videos for a loop knot, but I'll explain it real quick. You go through, double your line over, okay, like that. You go around 2 fingers one time, creating a hole, creating this hole right here. You want to put that through there, put your jig head through there, all right, hold it and tighten it down. All right, so now we have a loop knot with a lot of tags, so we're going to cut that tag end off. Again, good cutters again, one time, and we're done. All right, now essentially, guys, we are done. Essentially, we are done. Let's see. Get this rolled up. I didn't want to use the whole pole for the video, so now we have it on there. We have our hook, we have our bobber, we have the beacon holder, which is what's going to hold our glow stick or our beacon. Now let me show you this. Now you have your beacon. You have your beacon. The fat part of the beacon should be up. The small part of the beacon is going to go into the hole that is on the holder. You have to apply a little bit of pressure. All right, and that's how that's going to look, y'all. That's how that's going to look. All right. Again, the bobber stop is there, so just to show y'all, it's going to stop whenever it hits that bobber stop. It's going to stop whenever it hits that bobber stop. So we have everything we need. And then, like I said, what I like to do to make sure that it goes down and stays down is I like to use a split shot. And that split shot again just allows it to hurry up and set up when it gets down there. I like to use split shots. Split shots have tails on the end. If you squeeze them, the mouth opens up. All right. And you might have to use pliers. Sometimes they're a little stiff. If you're country, you might use your teeth. But if you want to keep your teeth, you might want to chill on that. Now, where I like to place my split shot, is just a few inches above the actual hook. I don't want it interfering with the bait. I don't want the fish seeing it. It may be spooking. So I like to put it a couple of inches up. You just insert it into the mouth of that split shot and squeeze the head of that split shot down. Like I said, even take your pliers and just give it a little squeeze and it won't move. This also acts as a stop so that your float won't go down to your bait and tangle it. So again, we have a split shot on the bottom. We have a bobber stop on top, so that bobber won't go any further than what I want it to go. We have our hook, our jig head. I like to use 1/16 ounce jig heads anytime I'm under a float with the split shot. Now you also can do a double hook deal. At fishing at night, I wouldn't suggest it, just me personally. That's it, guys. That is it. You place your bait on there and it's time to go fishing, man. This is the exact setup I used in the video footage that I had from a few nights ago. I wasn't able to use that footage because it was just entirely too dark, guys. We thought that it was going to be enough light for the GoPro. The GoPro does not handle low light situations very well. That's what's keeping me from really doing any night fishing videos. But we'll have some live action coming real soon though, man. So y'all stay tuned, y'all stick with me. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to write them in the comment section. Guys, if you haven't figured out, I try to answer every single comment, every single question, at least a thank you or whatever. We are now at like 9.5K on the Hook City Citizens, on the subscribers. So thank you all for the support. Thank you for what you're doing to help keep this channel going, guys. If you want to see more informative videos, if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section, man. You can also reach me at kennethpierce@gmail.com. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, man. Share it with your buddies that are maybe trying to learn how to crappie fish. It's a great technique. You can also use this technique with live bait as well. So you're not just having to use a jig. You know, you can use a minnow as well. If there's anything else I need to explain, y'all let me know, man. It's your boy Fishing Ken, Hook City TV. Go get them at night. It's the right time, baby.